In this tutorial in Adobe Premiere Elements 2020, we're going to continue our look at showing you how you can customize the look of the fonts in the titles in Adobe Premiere Elements. We ended our first tutorial looking at how you can make some of the changes, and we're going to look at some more sophisticated options in this particular tutorial. The text that we have is sitting on top of a whitish gray shape. We've done that so you can see the impact of the changes visually in the best way possible. We have a title track on video track number 2, and I've clicked on the video track to open my adjustments window on the right side. We're going to click on the little color palette, and this will be the tool that we'll be using in this tutorial. I'll drag it over a bit to the right. Now the default is solid for gradient. Now, the gradient can apply to one of two elements. If you have a preset that has a fill, and they all do, that will affect the face of the letter, and right now our gradient is solid green. You can also apply the tools we're about to show you on the stroke area, which is actually what I call the outline, and in this case it's a purplish outline. We also have a drop shadow. Don't confuse that with the outline. In fact, I think I'll uncheck that for the lesson. So here is our outline. I can turn the outline, let's say, to red or orange, whatever I like. Let's turn it to black. Right now we're going to be working on the fill area, and be mindful that the tools we'll show you can apply both to fill and to the outline or the stroke. We're going to look at the first one down here, which is we click on the down arrow and find we have a linear gradient. Now I have a gradient and nothing seems to change, but I do notice I have two boxes. They're both green. They start out with the same color as the solid, and the one that's active is the one that has a little arrow pointing up. That will be the one that I can change the color on. I'm going to take this box and click on my pink area, and immediately you see the impact of the linear gradient. The position of the box controls the percentage of that color that you'll see in the text. Right now it's about 50-50. If I move the pink to the left, you notice now it becomes more pink, and I can make it so it's almost exclusively pink with very little green at the top or bottom. If I click the area on the left called reverse, it will swap the colors. Now it's mostly green and slightly pink. So you can adjust the sliders any way you want to get the kind of look and feel for how the gradient works. You notice there's an angle control here. The angle defaults to 90. 90 is up and down. If I click on the 90, I prefer to type in a different number. We'll type in 180, and then I'm going to click outside that area, and now it's left to right. We can also change it for any other angle in the compass. We're going to click on it again, and let's do 45, and then click outside of it, and now it's upper left to lower right. Again, we can reverse it if we want, and we can change the proportions if we want more pink and less green. So you have all these variations that you can use. I'll go back to a 90. The other thing I'd like to remind you of when you're using this particular tool is for the best use, most developers use colors that are similar in the palette. If this one is going to be green, I probably want the other one to be somewhere in the same family, just enough to give me a little bit of variation, and I might go something like this and maybe make it a little more of the brighter color. And so you can play with the text all you want in order to have the kind of effect you're looking for. That is our linear gradient. We're going to default back to solid. The next option we have is a radial gradient. And I click on that, and again I've inherited my two slightly different colors, but I don't see much difference. What's the radial gradient about? Well, I'm going to show you very quickly by clicking on this repeat value. And I'm going to type in a very high number like 50. I'm going to turn that to black, and I'll take the other one, I'll turn it to white. And now you notice what happens when I move the slider. The center of the letter is the core of the radial gradient. And this is the number of repeats that I have. The farther apart I move these, the more I see what's happening actually to the colors. In this case, we're just using a black and white. Oh, I'm bored with that. Let's try another color on the one side here. We'll click the box again and change it. Okay. So here's where we have the radial gradient focusing on the center of the letter and then moving outward. Now, most of you won't use numbers like this, but you will use numbers like this. If I do anything roughly from 3 and under, I get a nice effect. Let me type in 3 and then click here. And now we have a different kind of gradient. You notice if I put them closer together, we're going to see more circles, as it were, come out. But if you just have a couple, it makes for a very nice, very smooth looking gradient. Again, you can reverse it, and you can change the colors all day long if you want. Let's try another one to a bluish color here. And so the colors vary from the center on out. And that's what the repeat does. Now here's something interesting I discovered. You can add the repeat and the radial gradient with what we looked at before of the linear gradient. If I click on linear now my linear is repeated because the repeat I have in the radial gradient is impacting it. And I've asked myself once, what was going on here? Why do I have two colors and I have all these bands? Well, in this case, you need to go back to the radial gradient and change that number to 0. And then if you're working back on a linear gradient, you'll see two colors, not multiples of two colors. So that's what a radial gradient does. Another one is 4-color. Let's look at the 4-color. Once again, it's a little bit like the first gradient we looked at, only you have 4 boxes. And again, you can click on any of the boxes and change their color one at a time. So you can have 4 different kinds of colors, shaping either the font face, which is the fill, or the stroke, which is the outline. And obviously, we're just using these for illustration. You'll probably want to be a lot more wise in picking how you choose your colors because this is rather distracting. But that's how simple it is to change the colors in this particular option for the 4-color gradient. Again, most editors will use variations of similar colors so that you don't have this rather garish contrast. And you can tweak it to make it look very good if you want to. The next one we're going to look at is a little more complex. It's called Bevel. And the look of the bevel controls is quite a bit different. You have a size control and a balance control. Let's click on the size control. It starts with 0. Let's change it to 50. And I did something that you might do from time to time. I pressed the Enter key. When you do that, you close the window. So all you have to do is click back on the icon and you'll get back into the right screen. Let's give us 2 contrasting colors. This is left, this is right now. Let's change this one to an orange or yellowish. And here we have our bevel. Okay, this is the size, this is in the middle of the letters. Now I can't control this with a slider, but I can control this with a balance. On the balance side, you have to have a number below 1. This is the level of bevel that you actually have. Let's try a 0.4. And now you see we've increased the degree of the bevel. Let's try a 0.7. And now it almost completely washes out the letter. Let's try a 0.2. So you can adjust between these 2 colors and get the kind of bevel you want in your letter. Now in this case, I probably again would use similar colors. And then you can change the degree of the bevel again. Let's go back up to a 0.35. And so this is how you give the bevel effect to your letters. The next 2 we're going to look at are pretty simple. The next one we have down is called Eliminate. And as the note says in the middle, the Eliminate option makes our fill stroke invisible but does not cast a shadow. So if I have my drop shadow turned on, I have to add that in order to have a shadow, but it's not casting a shadow. Let's contrast that with the next one down, which is Ghost. Ghost does cast a shadow, so if I have drop shadow enabled, here I see the shadow on the letter. And again, your color doesn't make any difference because you've already made it invisible. If you want a simple outline of a letter, you can take the outline color and change that to anything you like. And you can use that in conjunction with Ghost to make nice hollow letters. So that's some of the options that you have when you're doing some advanced design on the fonts in your titles in Adobe Premiere Elements 2020.